The sun was setting, casting a golden hue over the cozy living room where Mrs. Whiskers paced back and forth, her tail flicking in agitation. She was an elegant cat, her fur a sleek black that gleamed in the fading light, but tonight her eyes were narrowed and her whiskers bristled with irritation. Mr. Whiskers, her husband, watched her from his perch on the windowsill, his demeanor calm and composed, contrasting sharply with her visible anger. He knew that something had to be done to soothe her ruffled fur and ease her troubled mind. As Mrs. Whiskers continued her pacing, Mr. Whiskers leapt gracefully from the windowsill and approached her with a gentle purr. He nuzzled her cheek softly, a silent gesture of comfort. "Darling, what troubles you so?" he asked, his voice a soothing balm to her frazzled nerves. She paused for a moment, looking into his eyes, and the anger began to melt away, replaced by a hint of vulnerability. "It's those new kittens in the neighborhood," she confessed. "They're always causing trouble, and I just can't stand it anymore." Mr. Whiskers listened patiently, nodding as she vented her frustrations. He knew that the key to calming her was not just in addressing her complaints, but in making her feel heard and understood. "I see," he said thoughtfully. "They do seem to be quite a handful, but perhaps we can find a way to help them learn some manners." His suggestion was met with a skeptical look, but he continued. "We could offer to mentor them, show them the ropes. It might just be the guidance they need." Mrs. Whiskers pondered this for a moment, her tail swishing more slowly. The idea of turning her irritation into a teaching opportunity was appealing, but she wasn't entirely convinced. Sensing her hesitation, Mr. Whiskers decided to share a story from their own past. "Do you remember when we were young?" he began, his voice taking on a nostalgic tone. "We weren't always the well-behaved cats we are now. There was a time when we caused quite a bit of chaos ourselves." She couldn't help but smile at the memory. Those early days of mischief and mayhem had shaped them into the cats they were today. "You're right," she admitted with a sigh. "Perhaps we can help them, but it's going to take a lot of patience." Mr. Whiskers purred in agreement, his eyes twinkling with affection. "Patience is something we have in abundance, my dear, and I'll be right there with you, every step of the way." With the decision made, they began to devise a plan. They would approach the kittens with kindness and offer their guidance, hoping to steer them in the right direction. It wasn't just about correcting bad behavior. It was about nurturing and teaching, giving the younger cats a chance to grow and learn. Mrs. Whiskers felt a sense of purpose beginning to replace her anger, and she looked at her husband with gratitude. His calm presence had once again helped her find clarity and resolve. As they sat together, planning their approach, Mr. Whiskers made sure to include moments of lightness and humor. He knew that keeping things positive would be essential in maintaining Mrs. Whiskers' motivation. "And who knows," he said with a playful flick of his tail, "we might even have some fun along the way." She chuckled at his optimism, feeling her spirits lift even more. The challenge ahead seemed less daunting with him by her side. Their first encounter with the kittens was a mix of excitement and nerves. The young cats were full of energy, darting around with little regard for the chaos they left in their wake. Mrs. Whiskers took a deep breath, recalling her husband's words of encouragement. "Hello, little ones," she called out, her voice firm but gentle. The kittens paused in their play, turning curious eyes towards her. "We'd like to talk to you about something important." Mr. Whiskers joined her, his presence a reassuring anchor. "We know you're having a lot of fun," he began, "but it's important to learn how to play nicely and respect others." He spoke with authority, but also with warmth, making it clear that their intention was to help, not to scold. The kittens, intrigued by the adult's attention, listened intently. They could sense the genuine care behind the words. Over the next few days, Mr. and Mrs. Whiskers spent time with the kittens, teaching them the ways of the feline world. They showed them how to climb trees safely, how to hunt responsibly, and most importantly, how to interact with other cats with respect and kindness. There were moments of frustration, of course, but each small victory brought a sense of achievement that made the effort worthwhile. One evening, after a particularly successful day of mentoring, Mrs. Whiskers and her husband sat together watching the sunset. She felt a deep sense of contentment, a far cry from the anger that had consumed her not long ago. "Thank you," she said softly, leaning against him. For everything. Mr. Whiskers purred, wrapping his tail around her. We make a good team, he replied, his voice filled with love. Their bond had grown even stronger through this shared endeavor, and the neighborhood was becoming a better place because of it. The kittens, once wild and unruly, were beginning to show signs of maturity and responsibility, and Mrs. Whiskers had discovered a new purpose, one that filled her with pride and joy. She looked forward to each new day, knowing that together they could face any challenge that came their way. Hey everyone! If you enjoyed the heartwarming and dramatic story of Felix and Luna, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you never miss an update. Leave a comment below with your favorite part of Felix and Luna's journey and share this video with your friends to spread the love. Thanks for watching.